and recently we have applied for NRF ranking also. All these are not possible for the constant encouragement from the Secretary Sir and academic leadership given by Krishnamurthy Sir, and above all, untiring efforts and proactive faculty members of our college. Before we carry on with this FDP program, I would give my regards and appreciation to all the people who have made this occasion a reality and this institution successful. This could not have been possible without the sheer contribution of you all. We are all part of this institution due to our shared passion for the vision of the institution. Our passion unites us and our hard work strengthens the institution. On that note, let me introduce and welcome the chief guest of this beautiful evening, Professor Prasad Garu, who is a renowned educationist and made his mark with outstanding work in civil engineering. I guarantee that this FDP will be productive and worth your precious time. I also welcome Appareddy Garu and Krishnamurthy Garu to this meeting. Without any further delay, I would like to start with these events. I'm very happy to invite once again all of you, and over to Krishnamurthy sir for his message. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, respected Prasad Garu, our beloved Secretary and Correspondent Garu, Appareddy Garu, and the principal and the host of today's function, Raman Rao Garu, and my dear faculty members, and a very warm welcome to one and all. From the last 3 years, we are working on this particular quality related issues, and in the development of the institution we have crossed several milestones like ISO certification, NAC certification, and etc. I'm very happy to listen to Prasad Garu regarding the national education policy, which is a very important aspect today any faculty member must know. There are very important elements which are transforming education into a real education, because the mold type of education is now an education which can make a student to be a real employee, the employable skills and other things. Therefore, the quality in the education process is a very important thing, and I'm very much happy to request Prasad Garu to please continue the proceedings so that and enlighten the faculty members, regarding the National Education Policy 2020. Thank you very much, Raman Rao Garu, for giving me this opportunity. Over to Raman Rao Garu.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now I invite our coordinator IQAC Ajay Kumar Chaitanya to know about the theme of FDP and learning outcomes of this FDP, and introduce the speaker to all of us. Ajay sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, one and all. We have Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, Ajay Kumar, carry on.
Yeah. So, good afternoon, Principal Sir, Dr. K. Ramanarao Sir, and Principal Professor Krishnamurthy Sir, and other dignitaries over the line online. So, firstly, I would like to introduce about the theme of Faculty Development Program. So that is the implementation of national educational policy.
Break out, sir.
So is it okay now?
It's okay. It's okay.
So introduction of National Education Policy 2020. As we know, Government of India has brought tremendous changes in the recent educational policies based on the advancements in the technology and science and other aspects of education. So in this regard, the National Education Policy has come into the Act. So this consists of 4 parts, that is the schooling education, higher education, other key areas, and making it happen. So I'm concentrating more on the higher education as we belong to higher education. So there the following points which are discussed in this second part, that is higher education. The first one is quality in university and colleges, a new and forward-looking vision for Indian higher education societies. The second one is institutional reconstructing and consolidation. The third one is optimal learning environment and support for students. So where what all the student-centric methods we are taught and we have discussed in NAC or other quality parameters will be discussed in this particular part. And motivating energized capable faculty. So always a capable or dynamic or motivated faculty are important for any institution to be as successful in the society. So this parameter will be discussing more on such faculty, which are very important for any higher educational institution. Next is equity and inclusion in higher education. So this part discusses about the gender sensitization, gender equality, then what all aspects regarding to the reservations or in marking reservation seats. All this will be discussed in your higher education, this equity and inclusion. So teacher education. So along with the teacher dynamic properties, that is teaching capabilities, the quality aspects in terms of teacher qualification is also very important. So all these aspects will be discussed in the teacher education. So next is re-imaging vocational education. So the vocational education also have an equal importance along with the core education. So vocational and core education together will bring a great success in the student's life. So all those such aspects will be discussed in this particular area. Then catalyzing quality academic research in all fields through national education policy, which is the main, or you can select the main theme or the main parameter for which this national education policy has been introduced. So research. We will be discussing it all the areas. So teaching and research are two aspects which are very needed for a teacher as well as in the student community also. All these will be discussed in this particular area. And transforming regular system and higher education. So the regulation systems in higher education. And finally, effective governance and leadership in higher educational institutions. So these are the key points which we are discussed and sir will be discussed in detail by Dr. CSR-K. And in this aspect, I feel privileged to introduce about Professor CSR-K. sir. So sir has completed BTech, MTech in civil engineering, and he has pursued PhD in transport engineering from REC Warangal in the year 1997. So sir has memberships for various societies like Indian Society for Technical Education, Association for Transport Development, Institution of Engineering Kolkata, Indian Road Congress, MECTRANS, etc. Sir has published total articles in 12 articles in international journals and 12 articles in national journals. And he has sponsored projects of total of 9. And he also published 4 books. And he has guided 4 PhD students and 6 are ongoing. And total of 35 international conferences and 38 national conferences. So, sir, we are very happy and we are also privileged. So we are so happy and we are privileged that such a dynamic personality has been invited as the resource person to give guidance about the national education policy. And we are also telecasting this program in our seminar hall, and about 50 faculty members have been listening and are waiting for your message, sir. And with taking no much time, I would like to call upon CSR-K. sir, and thank you for giving this opportunity. And also thank Sudeshan sir for providing all the technical support for this program. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for your nice words. May I know what is the the composition of these faculty members, they are
Sir?
from all of them are faculty members?
Yes, sir. All the faculty members from various streams, like science stream, social stream, commerce stream, mathematics stream, all the streams. And few are from engineering streams also, sir.
Okay, it's a mix is there.
Thank you, sir.
And all of them are comfortable with English?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, let me share my screen. Yeah, can you? Yeah.
Okay, sir, we can. Sir.
So my screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, friends. Various dignitaries, the principals of the institution and the management of the Kavita Memorial Society. And also my dear colleague friends working in the different institutions. I'm happy that we are conducting a 1-week faculty development program on National Education Policy 2020. And in the Education 4 in similar lines of the Industry 4. So in fact, today morning also you might have seen the advertisement or the paper statement of the UGC chairman indicating that by 2030 all the educational institutions are expected to be a multidisciplinary, not a single stream, and by 2035 all the affiliated colleges are expected to award the degrees on their own. That means that the full autonomy will be given, like self-governance. So that indicates that the government of India is very much serious about implementing the National Education Policy 2020 in this country. So when I thought of giving a presentation on the National Education Policy 2020, then I tried to look at the quotes of the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. He is the one who believed that the education should bring out the best of the person who will become useful to the society. And also his emphasis on integration of the traditional education with the vocational education. I would almost 70 to 80 years back, more than that, about 100 years back, he has pronounced this. And somehow in the society, after we became independent, we have not treated the vocational training or education on equal footing. And also we have not given its due credit or respect. Whereas this NEP 2020 is has been addressed on these two aspects. One is on the bringing out the best of the child. The second is on the giving an equal importance for the vocational as well as traditional education. Also, I thought of looking at how this education and skills are being considered at the 21st century. You could say that you can Google it, you can find out how the education and skills are interlinked, interrelated to the several aspects. Like you could see that there is a infograph where we trying to integrate with the lifelong learning pathways, quality-based education, 21st century curricula, digital fluency and STEM skills, education and innovation, and linked up several aspects: private investors, human rights, public finance and social production, aging, workforce. So what I would like to emphasize is this is interwoven into the various skill sets expected in the 21st century. That's where the technology is also playing a critical role in advancing the teaching learning process and also making it as a most effective education process. So my presentation is on 4 lines. One is on the principles of the National Education Policy 2020. And then something about the school education or the guidelines recommended by the NEP with respect to school education. And then the higher education, that's where all of us belong to. And the last aspect is some of the areas in which the NEP has thrown some light. Now let us look at the NEP 2020 principles. All of you might be aware about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So they has brought out a 2030 resolutions. They call them a Sustainable Development Goals for 2030, where all the nations have agreed upon to implement these Sustainable Development Goals, to adopt these Sustainable Development Goals in their policy making. There are 17 goals. The Sustainable Development Goal 4 talk about the inclusive and equitable quality education. In other words, all the nations should ensure an inclusive and quality education to each and every citizen. And it is also emphasizing on the lifelong learning opportunities for the citizens. So these two has to be realized by 2030. When I look at the document of the NEP 2020, these aspects are also quite addressed. It means that the government is full aware of these requirements and their commitment in adopting these aspects also. Now let's try to look at what the changes are happening in the landscape, because we're all in the education sector. You know that there are several scientific and technological advances taking place in and around our day-to-day life, as well as in the education, as well as in the industry, business, etc. Like your big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence, because of which the unskilled jobs are phasing out. They're phasing out. So obviously, these people who are losing the jobs, they have to upskill themselves so that they should become a useful, skilled workforce. And that utility or that valuation can be provided with your STEM knowledge, computer science, and also the multidisciplinary abilities. Now we need a multidisciplinary person, no more a highly specialized persons. And the another aspect which is happening is the climate change. The adverse environmental conditions, air pollution is increasing, it's flooding all our cities, because of which we need to look at the various alternative sources of energy, and also being water is polluted, food is polluted, adulterated, who require a good potable water. How do you provide that? This is where we need a different set of people with a different skill sets to provide a potable water. And then we need to have the multidisciplinary learning. Now in the learning sector, that's where we are in the teaching learning process. There is some shift, there are some changes are happening. One is we are focusing and emphasizing mostly on the learning in the mostly 20th century. Now in the 21st century, this may not be alone may not be sufficient. The student should be able to learn, it's fine. Whatever is learning in the college or the institutions or universities are becoming obsolete in no time. So that's where we have to inculcate the abilities in him. He should have the ability, students should be able to develop the ability to learn on his own. He should learn how to learn on his own, lifelong. That's what we're emphasizing as a part of the sustainable development goals also. You should have a lifelong learning abilities. That is a requirement. That is going to be the requirement. So obviously, whatever is being learned is not good enough. So we should be able to inculcate, impart this quality also. Then the education must move towards the less content, and we should be able to make the people to think critically, develop their problem solving skills. And they should be creative. And they should innovate, adapt, and observe. Forget about their profession. Whatever may be the profession. The concepts are same. The principles are same. So they should have that ability to think critically and solve the problems. And then the education is more experiential. It's not mugging up. You should be able to understand. You should be able to correlate whatever is learning to the real life. And then or to make it as a learner-centric. That's what we said, outcome-based education for last 1 to 2 decades, people are talking about. And teacher-centric learning process to learner-centric learning process we have to move. And also it should be flexible. Students should be able to choose what he wants to learn. At the end, the education should be able to create a useful citizens to society. You should be able to learn a complete in all different languages. At the same time, you should be able to ensure a good character. You should be a first good citizen. So with this backdrop, let's try to understand what are the aims of the NEP 2020. We want to have a best education system in India by 2040. A high quality education system, best among the developed countries. We don't want to be second to someone. Regardless of the social and economic background, that's what is an inclusive, equitable opportunities for each and every citizen of this nation. That is the reason why if you could look at the policies of the governments prevailing in the developed countries, they provide free education up to 12th class. It's a burden on the government. It's the responsibility of the governments. Somehow, even though we proclaim that India is a socialistic country, our successive governments is slowly shedding their responsibility in providing the compulsory free education to all the citizens up to 12th class. It's the rest with the private players. Then the higher education, yes, they can pursue. Whoever wants to pursue the higher education, they will be provided. Just because of lack of money, lack of economic conditions, nobody is being denied to pursue the higher education in the developed world, developed nations. Somehow we have not learned anything from them. We are not able to implement any of their best practices. So that is the reason why the education has become costly in India. Education and health sector. All your life savings are going towards these two. One is education and health sector. Third is the housing. So the emphasis is on the development of creative potential of each individual. This is the aim of the NEP 2020. And also it was mentioning about, it's emphasizing on the foundation of critical thinking and problem solving. At the same time, the citizens are expected to have a social, ethical, and emotional capacities So then the question is, what are the qualities or characteristics of the good education institutions? So every student should feel welcomed and cared for. That means we are giving an equal opportunity for each and every student. We should create a safe and stimulating learning environment. A wide range of learning experiences should be offered, and good physical infrastructure and appropriate resources conducive to learning to students. So this should be the goal of every educational institutions, to attain, to acquire these kind of qualities. So there should be a seamless integration and coordination across all the institutions and across all stages of education. All stages of education, that means from the LKG to the PG. And at the same time, we need to coordinate across the institutions, across all institutions, because you need to provide a good education for all the citizens of the country. It means that we should have all institutions in a good condition. We should have a good education institutions, providing a quality education to all the citizens. Not that few institutions are good. No, it cannot be. The society will not be solved. Because if you try to look at the nation, how many of them are good education? We have 44,000 or 45,000 colleges in higher education. How many of them are good? We want all these institutions to be good. So that is where you need to have a collaboration across all the institutions, a coordination, academic and research collaboration, coordination, such that the best practices adopted in certain institutions have to be learned and implemented in other institutions also. So let's try to look at some of the fundamental principles of the NAP 2020. One is recognizing, identifying, fostering the unique capabilities of each and every student. Highest priority to achieving the foundational literacy and numeracy by all the students by the grade 3 or class 3. Flexibility in learning, and there should not be any hard separation between the arts and sciences, or between the curricular and extracurricular activities, or between the vocational and academic 2020. They don't want to distinguish between the arts and science college. Somehow we have to go towards engineering or medicine, and then science programs. Other people will go to the arts and science. This kind of a social stigma should go away. The persons who are learning, who have aptitude, they have to choose their field of learning. They're not that intelligent people are going to sciences. This is bad to the society. Somehow, all of us have nurtured this kind of a thinking, knowingly or unknowingly, directly or indirectly, from the childhood. But it's slowly phasing out. Slowly phasing out as the people are also looking to structural integration, separation between the curricular and extracurricular activities. Extracurricular activities have been given a topmost priority in the Western world. And we are not giving it all 24/7. So that may not be sufficient. That's what you could see, the lack of social skills. They don't know how to mingle with the people. They may be good in subject knowledge, but when they're applying the knowledge, when they're trying to deliver the goods in the industry or the work, they are not competitive because they lack the street smartness. They lack the ability to handle the field. So that's where the activities. And also we have to provide vocational and academic streams. We're providing the graduates. The electrical engineer is unable to fit a fuse in his house. That means he lacks the skill sets. He lacks the skill set. So we need to integrate all these different streams of learning. And then the multidisciplinary approach and holistic education should be the basis for the NEP 2020. And then the emphasis is on the conceptual understanding. They should be able to understand and appreciate the concepts introduced to them, not mugging up or not by hearting. And also, you should develop a creativity and critical thinking among the students, and ethics and human constitutional values, promoting multilingualism. That is the reason why this year onwards, the government of India is also encouraging many institutions to start or offer degree programs in their local languages. Life skills such as communication, cooperation, teamwork, and resilience. Unfortunately, we are trying to link up these life skills with the jobs or profession. But the life skills are required for all of us in all walks of life, even to lead the life as a good citizen in the society. You should be able to communicate. Many of our problems, differences, enmity in the society is because of lack of communication. We're unable to communicate properly what we are thinking, what we're not able to express. Cooperation, teamwork, resilience, these are all the things which are missing. And then the focus on the regular formative assessment. We are trying to have a time-tested, a point-wise, like at a certain point of the year, you will evaluating, like at the end of the semester, at the end of the year, or maybe the semester there is a mid-semester evaluation, etc., etc. That is known as a summative assessment process. Probably all of you might be aware of all this. The format assessment is nothing but a regular assessment, a continuous evaluation. Continuous evaluation throughout his learning process, throughout the semester, throughout the year. And then the extensive use of technology. Now technology is being used. Even at NIT Warangal, before March 2020, we never tried on this online teaching. Many of our colleagues are also, they don't know how to prepare the PowerPoint presentation, because some people hate the PowerPoint presentation. They always feel comfortable and think that the chalkboard teaching is more effective. It's fine. But Corona has given us some good values to brought some positive changes also, especially in the education sector. You could see that all of us are forced to learn several tools. We never know earlier LMS. We don't know about the Google Meet or Cisco Webex. Several ones were to learn, and then we are trying to teach online, trying to reach the students at their home. So the technology uses, whether you like it or not, it has entered in all walks of life. Even a common man is using it. A person who is without an education, without a formal education, the remote areas, remote villages, they're also using smartphone. They don't know how to use it. They know how to pay the money, the Paytm or etc. Beam app. They know how to book the tickets. They know how to charge or how to place the orders. So obviously, being an educated, we need to invite the technology also in our day-to-day affairs and the teaching process. And respect for the diversity and respect for the local context. NIT Warangal students are successful compared to the state government institution. The reason is we have a diversified students. We have the students from the different parts of the country. By design itself, we are trying to create our late Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he wants to create a mini India in the campus life. So we have the students from all the states, all the union territories. So they're living together for 4 years. Not only classroom learning, they're trying to interact with the students from the different parts of the country. trying to learn their cultures, etc., etc. So the diversity is there in our life, in the society, on this planet itself. So first we have to accept that there's diversity and respect for the local. Then they can become professionally successful. Then full equity and has to be given an opportunity, an equal opportunity for them to grow, to learn. And the synergy in the curriculum across all levels of education, that is from the early childhood care and education to school education to higher education. There should be a synergy, there should be a continuous flow, common thread should be there. And the teachers and faculty is the heart of the learning process. This is the one, but unfortunately, it's a thoroughly neglected community, right? It's thoroughly neglected. I know in the combined AP, we used to have the teachers, contract wages for school teachers, 5,000, 6,000, less than that. Whereas our skilled labor, unskilled labor is being paid about 300 or 400 rupees per day. So 13 to 3,300 or 13 to 400. So it's around 10 to 12,000 is an unskilled person is getting, whereas a skilled teacher, teaching is a skill, right? A skilled teacher, educated person is being in 5,000, 6,000. Is it the way to treat the teachers? So the least to talk, the better, but the thing is realized. The thing is how, I don't know how far they are going to implement and make the teachers as the center of the learning process, the heart of the learning process. What says by the NEP 2020. And pandemic is also has given a several impact, lost jobs, not only at a primary school level, even the college level also. I know many of my students working in the different private institutions, private engineering colleges, they got a partial salary, 40%, 50% also. Some people, they got the once in 3 months, 4 months. Some people lost the job also. And also, it is the principle is one of the fundamental principles is light but tight regulatory framework. They won't have autonomy to the institutions, good governance principles and empowerment, and with less control, less regulations from agencies like UGC, AST, and so on. And the outstanding research. Now research is going to become a part and parcel of the each and every education institutions, because this will enhance our teaching learning process, and we need to engage the students at the research from the beginning. And rootedness and pride in India, education is a public service. So access to the quality education must be considered a basic right of every child. The slogan is good. Why the governments are not taking the responsibility of providing a free education for each and every child. Why the childs are thrown to the mercy of the private institutions paying a huge sum. I understand the local school, in the name of some public school, they're charging 1 lakh rupees per year for LKG, UKG. Where these poor guys will bring the money? This is the question. Whether the government should have the quality education institutions or otherwise, if the private institutions are being permitted, and it has to be paid by the government. And the substantial investment in the strong, vibrant, and public education system, as well as encouragement. So we need the governments, or the state or central governments, to invest the money. So with these guiding principles, the NEP 2020 has been drafted, guidelines are being given, and recommendations are being given with a vision that we need to create an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by 2035, 2040. So we want to make the India as a knowledge society. So that India wants to occupy a central place in a global arena, who want to be recognized as a knowledge superpower. Knowledge superpower. But at the same time, the Indians should feel pride that being an Indian, they should feel proud but somehow that feeling is slowly disappearing, deteriorating, especially among the public. So that has to regain back. Before we look into the higher education segment, I thought that it's necessary for us to understand the recommendations of the primary education also. That will enable us to understand the quality of inputs coming to our system, higher education system. Right now, we have 10+2 structure, first class to 10th class, and 11th class and 12th class as intermediate, etc. But formally, we have not recognized their LKG schooling, okay, play school or UKG, etc. Now they brought that. So first 3 years of early learning process, play school, LKG, UKG, and first 2 years, that is class 1, class 2, they call it a foundational course. Then the preparatory, that is the class 3 to 5. Middle level is class to 6 to 8. And then the 9th to 12th, they call it a secondary level. So that means that every school is expected to have this play school, LKG and UKG. They should start, or otherwise they can collaborate with the existing play schools. And similarly, junior college will disappear, or otherwise they have to collaborate with the school, then they become part and parcel of the school education. Maybe slowly they will phase out over the time. So learning should be holistic, integrated, enjoyable, and engaging. That is a principle. Cognitive development of children is the primary motive of the school education, where they have the 5+3+3+4 design concepts, where the developmental needs and interest of the learner should be given a topmost priority at different levels. 3 to 8 is the foundation and so on, preparatory, middle, and secondary. So in the foundation stage up to 1, it consists of 5 years of flexible, multiple, play, activity-based. This is the emphasis. Play and activity-based learning, and is coinciding with the early childhood care and education, which is considered as the foundation of the learning. So where we said that is inquiry-based learning, the play-based learning or activity-based learning is the emphasis on the first 5 years. So there might be several activities, colors, indoor and outdoor play activities, puzzles, thinking, enhancement, problem solving skills, drawing, and so on. So it focuses on the developing a social capacities, sensitivity, so that the good behavior is nurtured, a courtesy and ethics in the life, personal and public cleanliness, teamwork, cooperation. This is required for all our citizens. For all our citizens. We hate each other. Somehow the hatredness is increasing. Degree of hatredness is increasing in the society. Tolerance has come down. So probably, first of all, you concentrate first 5 years on developing the social capacities and sensitivity among the child. Then the overall aim of this early childhood care and education is developing the cognitive skills, social emotional skills, cultural and artistic development, and so on. Then the 11 years, that is still continuing on the activity-based learning, discovery-based, play-based learning. And for that, slowly we are introducing the interactive classroom learning. That's where you are trying to bring in the reading aspects, writing aspects, speaking, physical education, languages, science, mathematics, all these concepts are being introduced. The next is the middle age, where in addition to these two, activity-based learning, interactive classroom learning, then the discussion orientation has to take place. This is where they need to introduce the abstract concepts of mathematics and science, This is where we said that wherever the abstract concepts are there, that's what they want, experiential learning. And then the secondary stage is 14 to 18 years, 9 to 12 grades. So this is where you would have a depth of knowledge, a critical thinking, greater attention to the life aspirations. That is the primitive age where the people think about what they want to become in the life. You should have a greater flexibility and student choice of subjects. Student choice of subjects. System, real understanding towards learning how to learn, conceptual understanding, and also giving emphasis on the learning and how to learn. All these things are oriented towards developing a 21st century skill sets. The all-round individual, a well-rounded individual. What are the skill sets? There are three buckets: learning skills, which are considered as critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. Literacy skills, three aspects: information, media literacy, and technology. And then the life skills, flexibility, leadership, initiative taking ability, productivity, and social skills. So all these 12 skills are collectively called as the soft skills, life skills, 21st century skills required from each and every citizen, each and every person. And also they want to have the flexibility in the course choice or course selection. That's the reason why we said that there should not be any hard separation among the curricular and extracurricular or co-curricular, etc. And such as physical education, etc., they are expected to provide or complement the science courses, mathematical courses, etc. The medium of instruction should be local language or mother tongue up to 5th class, or up to 8th class is the desirable one. Then, as I said that earlier, the summative primary test, they have to be removed. They have to be removed. They should be replaced with the continuous evaluation, which is known as the formative assessment. We need to move. We need to move. We are also moving slowly in that direction. Earlier, we used to have 50% weightage for the internal evaluation, 50% to the end semester evaluation. Now we have reduced the weightage for the end semester evaluation from 50 to 40%. We thought of reducing it to 30%, but we thought, yes, we are going to give less weightage, less emphasis for the end semester evaluation and more towards the internal evaluation, continuous evaluation. So for the 60%, what we are doing is conducting several tests, quiz tests, or written examinations, assignments, or they may be given a topic and then they're supposed to give a talk, prepare and give a talk, or submit a report, and so on. It is a combination. It's a combination of evaluation, several tools. So they will be spread across the semester, throughout the semester, and also covering each and every chapter or unit or module, whatever you call. So this is how we are trying to assess the student continuously, not based on completely based on one single examination. So progress card, especially in the school level, it should be holistic, 360-degree multi-dimensional report. So it should indicate what are his capabilities, what are his skill sets, not only the percentage scored in each courses. So with that backdrop, we are getting the students to the higher education. So what is the purpose or the expectations of the higher education? As I know, society, higher education, they are coming from the degree. Without that, there's a means of earning a livelihood. means of getting a job. They say that there's something like a success in our society. But basically, it is trying to look at the societal well-being. The higher education purpose is promoting the human as well as a societal well-being. It means that each citizen is expected to be socially conscious, cultured, humane, upholding liberty, national upholding unity, equality, fraternity, and justice for all. These qualities we should be able to acquire. It also contributes towards the sustainable livelihoods and economic development of the nation, or the state, or the locality. They should be able to contribute towards the sustainable livelihoods and economic development of the nation. A quality higher education must enable personal accomplishment, enlightenment for each of us. Because the education is for making us to think, creating an awareness what is happening in and around the globe. We'll also try to acquire some kind of a personal pride, a personal accomplishment, an enlightenment, constructive public engagement, productive contributions, and so on. But what are the problems in higher education? All of you might be aware these problems. One is a fragmented higher education ecosystem. There is no correlation. In fact, Kavita Memorial Degree College, they came to us requesting us to have collaboration. Somehow we are living in our silos, mindsets. Oh, okay, ours is an engineering college, who cannot. Now, probably that problem will be overcome shortly because even NIT Warangal is supposed to be transformed as a university. Maybe we are going to offer maybe the arts course also, science course also. Science course already we are offering MSc programs. So in such cases, yes, definitely there should be some kind of a collaboration can be. We have ASTE towards exclusively professional courses like engineering, medicine, we have the Medical Council of India, and architecture, we have the Planning Commission or the Architectural Society. For law, we have a different one. They're all highly fragmented. What is happening there in the law education, we don't know. We don't know. We have an exclusive college. It's not the same case in the Western world. The university is university where all the specializations are available. I don't know why and how our policymakers thought of establishing a single stream colleges like arts college, medical college, engineering college, planning and architecture, law college, dental colleges. All of them are single stream colleges. They should go away. The less emphasis is on the development of cognitive skills and learning outcomes. How many of people are learning? Somehow you could see that even we're also facing it, and Warangal. For last 2 years, we're teaching through online. We're not seeing the faces, like I'm not seeing the faces of you. Some people are unknowingly, intentionally or unintentionally unmuted their microphone talking, right? That means that they're not with me. They're not with me. Or some people might have logged in, might be sleeping, might be going away or doing some other work. This is happening. This is happening. The question is, we're making a fun of the education. The learner is not serious. In the process over the time, the teacher will also lose interest to teach because there is no motivation for the teacher if this learner is not serious to learn something from him. So making a system is a complete system, ecosystem has been diluted. The question is, we need to concentrate on the cognitive skills and learning outcomes. We should focus on that, but right now we have less emphasis. Rigid separation of disciplines, as I was saying. But in reality, we need a multidisciplinary approach. For example, medicine. There are a lot of instrumentation there. Now, the medicine is no more a medicine, it's a mostly instrumentation based medicine. Everything they're testing. The blood test or urine test or scanning, etc. The technology driven medical treatment. So no more separation. We need to have an integration of scientific principles, engineering principles to the medical field. Limited teacher and institutional autonomy. Who lack the autonomy for the institution? Because I said that more than 40,000, 44, 45,000 institutions are there. Most of them are affiliated. In Kakati University, hundreds of colleges are being affiliated. That means Kakati University has to decide what should be the syllabus, how many credits are to be offered, how many courses are to offer, what courses are to be offered, who are they? And the actual teachers who are teaching there, they don't have the freedom. They don't have freedom to change the course. They don't have the freedom to change the content. And the lesser emphasis on the research. Mostly our institutions are teaching centric or teaching intense to institutions. Intense teaching institutions. Only teaching. When the managements or the governments are not giving properly the skills, or also how do you expect them to provide a research? How do you expect them to carry out the research? What are the facilities available? So this has to be changed because we want more research at education institutions. Somehow it was designed in US system. All the research is happening in the university system. You know, in India, we have defined it as all the research is in the CSIR labs. We have established 60 or 70 research labs across the country. But there is a delinking between the best brains in the institutions with the scientists. So we're expecting only scientists, a set of scientists working in these labs are expected to carry out research. There's also job, will also become a 9-to-5 job. Research cannot be a 9-to-5 job. Teaching cannot be a 9-to-5 job. So somehow they established this research, they have integrated the research in the education so that the young persons, youthful, those days, they have the ideas, they come out with the bright ideas, and then we can tap their resources, they tap their potential. In the large affiliating universities resulting in low standards of undergraduate education. You know that. You know, all of you know that. How many hundreds of colleges are affiliated to Kakati? Hundreds of engineering colleges are affiliated to JNT. Same is the case with JNT Kakinada or Anna University in Tamil Nadu. Hundreds of colleges are there. Now, what is the changes proposed? How to overcome these shortcomings? One is they want to have the large multidisciplinary universities and colleges, not a single stream universities, colleges. They want to have multidisciplinary universities or colleges. Moving towards a multidisciplinary undergraduate education, not stream intense to undergraduate education. You want to have a broad concepts to the student. That's the reason we said that multidisciplinary undergraduate. Then moving towards the faculty and institutional autonomy, they want to give revamping the curriculum so that enhanced student experiences should be there inculcated in the system. And they want to have the National Research Foundation, which is expected to fund the research to be carried out by the teachers and the institutions. And the light but tight regulation by single regulatory for higher education. Now, in this regard, they are trying to restructure the educational institutions. One is they want to have the large multidisciplinary universities or colleges with a minimum capacity of 3,000 student strength, minimum of 3,000 student strength. So several institutions are having more than that. The question is, we want to have a multidisciplinary universities. That means you should have all branches. You should have a law. You should have a medicine. You should have engineering. You should have arts and science courses in the same college or same university. So enable the students to become a well-rounded across all disciplines. If you have all these facilities, and if you are encouraging the people to have the cross-disciplinary research, then obviously when you have the multidisciplinary approach, cross-disciplinary research will be enhanced. We'll try to understand what the basic principles or best practices that enable the students to adopt and integrate. So university means by definition, it is nothing but a multidisciplinary institution. So that is the reason why NITs, IITs have been considered as a single stream. They are not universities. They are the single stream institution. So they want to categorize, you might have read in the newspaper, today's newspaper, recent entrance to universities, they call it AU, RU, teaching entrance to universities as a TU, autonomous degree granting colleges as a S. So all our institutions should be one among these three. Minimum is autonomous degree granting college. Nobody is going to govern you. Nobody is going to recommend the policies. The institution, within the institution, they should be able to govern everything. Policy making, design, curriculum structure design, delivery, examination, degree awarding, everything will be there. That is going to happen. It should be multidisciplinary. So their focus is on mostly undergraduate teaching, all undergraduate degrees, nothing else, nothing else. The second level is the teaching entrance to universities, next level, next higher level. Teaching entrance to university, that means greater emphasis is on the teaching, but still some significant effort on the research also. Maybe 60-70% teaching, 20 to 30% or 40% research. That is the focus. And the third, the highest level is the research entrance to university. That means both teaching and research are being given equal importance, 50-50. 50-50. So all our institutions have to be, like for example, NIT Warangal, we want to become a research entrance to university. Like you, first your like Kavita Memorial Degree and PG College can become an autonomous degree granting college. Or the Kavita Society is there. I'm not sure what is the name. Please forgive me if I am pronouncing wrong. So your society, you have a different college like a degree college, engineering college, and then some nursing college, etc. All of them together, you can form a university. So your journey can start at a teaching entrance to university. Others like Usmania, Kavita University, they can start as a research entrance because some kind of amount of research is going on in university systems. So others, yes, as I said, that autonomous degree granting colleges and so on. So the journey will be in the upward direction, starting with autonomous degree granting college, which is a multidisciplinary nature, then moving towards the teaching entrance to university, and then moving further towards the research entrance to university. All higher education institutions will firstly plan to become a multidisciplinary by 2030. That is the target. We have another 8 years to go. We should be able to introduce a multidisciplinary courses. Then the aim will be to increase the gross enrollment ratio. Gross enrollment ratio, the percentage of people passing out from the intermediate. How many of them are going for a higher education? How many of them are going for higher education? 10%, 20%, 15%. Now they are saying around 26.3% according to 2018. Maybe it might be slightly up. Now it's 2022. The question is, about 10 years back, it's only around 10 to 12%. Then why should we worry? Why should we increase to 50%? They found some kind of a correlation. As in more and more people, more and more citizens in our society are having higher degrees, higher education degrees, then their behavior, their logical thinking, decision-making process, their ability to influence are improved. They've been improved. They're contributing to the economic development of the nation. They bring out some kind of a startups, new ideas, product developments, etc. So the countries which are developed nation, if you try to look at their scenario, they found that there more than 50% of them are having highest degree, higher education degree. So now the government of India has realized recently, maybe last 1 decade, we should also emphasize more on that. Then we want to start an online programs or open distance learning programs, because we want to increase 50%. How do you collective combined capacity of all these 44,000 institutions are not good enough to make 26% to 50% by 2030. Time is running out, right? Already 2 years ago from the date of policy announcement. So we want to have online program like IIT Madras. They started a program, right? BSc in data sciences. So 10,000 students are joining. They're not compromising on the quality, and also have a misnomer in our society, right? There is online programs, distance learning programs. They are chow programs, right? You have that feeling. They're not serious. Somehow you register, write something, you'll get some marks, you get the degree. You might have seen how the society is also reacting. Some say that I have done MBA programs at XY University on distance education mode. Oh, you've done it. They don't give much importance, much weightage to that. But I would think somehow we should work on that, right? The quality of education imported, the standard of evaluation of the question papers, etc. They have to improve so that the social stigma should go away. So ultimately, the student is coming out whether he has that required skill sets for the industry. Some of the companies like Microsoft, they started recruiting some people, Google, etc., without any formal degree from the university. They have the coding ability, cracking ability, hacker. And they're not bothered about whether he's having a BTech computer science or not. He has the ability, capability to deliver, capable to develop a program or write a code. So they're offering the jobs. They're offering the jobs. So future is that. Future is that. That is a threat because of the technology. Now there are already have the Coursera, MIT courseware, etc. Now IIIT Allahabad is starting a program, flexible academic program. That's what they have quoted. Most likely NIT Warangal also will join. So their focus program is like they want to create an online platform. They can choose some courses like IIIT Allahabad, few courses, NIT Warangal from few courses, Central University few courses. So student will be sitting somewhere at home. You can register for the several courses. So if you want a 160 credits for award of the BTech program, you will do 30 credits from university, 30 credits another university, etc., etc. Come together, that satisfies 160 credits, so you will get a degree. So those things are going to happen. That is a threat to the survival of our institutions also. The Coursera, now we have so many, thousands of courses are available. So if the Coursera, let's assume that it's going to be transformed as a digital university. So you can think about it, a digital university. A student can learn and complete so many certificate courses or degree courses. The courses, then if sum up, then if they have that ability, authority to give the degree, yes, they can give. The student need not physically visit the university. The question is debatable. How long, how much, what type of courses we can offer online. All the courses may not be. Like medicine, you cannot teach them, right? You need more practice. In engineering also, more practice. Maybe some courses it may be useful, some programs may be useful. So we have to deliberate. At the same time, some people are thinking that, okay, online degree university is fine, but what about the social skills? There are many parents writing to us saying that to open the college immediately. My child lacks the social skills. Students should come and stay in the campus, and work, interact with his fellow colleagues, discuss, quarrel, fight, play. This is also part of the learning. Part of the learning. That's what we said as soft skills. So the people are Corona batches were informally calling them as Corona batch for people passing out in Corona. They're staying at home. They don't have any interactions except with the screen time. Our parents. So they're lacking these skill sets. They're worried. So the question is, to what extent? What is the ratio between the offline or face-to-face learning versus the online? We have to come out, we have to evolve because it's evolving. We don't know in the future where we are going to. So the complex nomenclature of higher education system has to be replaced with the university. So they have learned, they are trying to emphasize more on the multidisciplinary education. They said that they have to integrate the humanities and science with the arts, with the STEM courses, so that they found that there's an enhancement in the creativity and innovation, critical thinking, higher order thinking. That is the reason why they want us to teach arts courses to the engineering students, arts courses to the medical students. That is required. Towards the attainment of such holistic and multidisciplinary education, so we should have a flexible and innovative curriculum. If you have a rigid system, it's not possible. So we should have a flexible system, an innovative curricula, so the student could be able to choose. Now you see that recently IST also has given a circular saying that a certain percentage of the courses can be done online. Online. For the order of the degree, maybe 10%, 20%. Now they want to increase it to 50%. Then what will happen to the faculty working in the institutions? It's going to be tough, right? We are choosing that path, obviously, number of faculty reduce. Then the practical side of their learning should be strengthened. About 4 or 5 years back, the Warangal local district collector used to offer internships for the students. We asked her, why did you, what make you do it? She said that they will work with me. They will work with the district collector. They will work with the different departments of the government. They'll try to understand how the people will come and interact with the representatives, interact with the public servants, and how these servants' complaints are being processed, how they are doing it, how they are. It's also learning. Or they can go for an artist, a craft person, how the dharis in Warangal are being made. What made them? What is the trick? What is the science behind that? Or you can go and sit with some time mimicry artist, etc. Writers. So internship as earlier is a misnomer, saying it's all a company. No, internship can be with anyone, The person's ultimate goal is he needs to learn something, the practical side. Then the undergraduate degree will be of either 3 or 4 years. One, now they're recommending 4 years because they want to standardize whether the BSc or BA or BCom or BTech, they want to have at least 4 years. Don't rationalize it. So the multiple exit options. So a person is registered, joined the NIT Warangal civil engineering of 1 year of study, he leaves the institution. He fed up and somehow lost interest in the continuation. So then if he's leaving, as a now present rule says, you will not get any degree, you will not get any certificate. We're not saying that. He studied for 1 year and so on. We're not pronouncing that. So can we give a certificate at the end of the first year? When he's leaving, can I give a certificate like a program in the engineering sciences? Similarly, can you give, and if it is a BTech sciences, then can I give a certificate after 1 year of study? Can I call it a 1 year certificate program? After 2 years, if he's leaving, can I call it a diploma in some kind of a discipline, like if it is a civil engineering work, a diploma in civil engineering, or advanced diploma after third year, after final year, you will get the degree. But there might be some bright students where the capability to learn quickly, can absorb more knowledge. So can you provide an opportunity for him to learn parallelly along with the BTech program or along with your BSc program? So that's what is known as the honors, the minor program. So a person with a BTech in civil engineering can register another 6 courses in computer science. So you'll get a BTech in civil engineering with a minor in computer science. Or you may be interested in biology. So BTech in civil engineering with minor program in biology or physics or maths or economics or management or planning. Or you can have a more specialized in civil engineering itself. He wants to learn something more in depth about civil engineering. Like he wants to learn some more structures, like how to build how to design and construct the buildings. So we'll give an additional courses for him. He can learn these courses. Then he like a specialized information, specialized knowledge. So such programs you can call them as a BTech honors in civil engineering with specialization in structural engineering, something like that. And we want to have the flexibility to offer different designs of master's program. Right now, what we are doing is at NIT Warangal, earlier, if he's leaving after 1 year, most likely we found 10 to 15% of the students are expected to leave the institution after 1 year of study. Because at the time of BTech or immediately after passing out the BTech, they might have written the written examination, competitive examinations. So by the process, the results are processed and then the interviews are conducted, and the time they give the orders, placement orders, they'll have 1 year gap. So that is the time they join the institution, pursue the study. After 1 year, they'll get the job. They're simply quitting. But he's learning something. He's having some knowledge gain. So can I give a PG diploma in that? Suppose he joined my MTech transportation engineering. After 1 year, he got a job in the railways or some private industry. They don't want to permit him to continue another 1 year. So can I give a certificate saying that PG diploma in transportation? That's what we have to think about it. Or now we are giving an opportunity for 10%, 20% of the students. So they're very good, bright student. And CGP is also good, about 8, 8.5 and above. Can I permit him to register for the PhD? This is available in US universities. I convinced that okay, this guy can do the research, then you can skip it. You can skip the MS program and directly go to the PhD. There is known as integrated programs, MS and PhD. Can we do that? Can we do here also similar setup? So these are all some of the thought process. Then the undertaking a PhD shall require either master's degree or a 4 years bachelor's degree with research or honors, etc. And MPhil is being discontinued. Restructuring the mastering program, that's what you said that we are going to give a PG diploma, that's what we are giving now. And we're also proposing integrated 5 years programs. Now, this year we started 5 years integrated science programs. So physics, mathematics, and chemistry. So first 3 years is a common syllabus, and 4th year onwards they'll be separated into the math stream, chemistry stream, and physics stream. So they'll have an advanced courses in the respective disciplines, and they will get the degree. 5 years integrated program in physics, chemistry, or mathematics. So we want to roll out some more. Probably you can also think about it. So the choice-based credit system has to be introduced, and then all move to a criteria-based grading system, that is learning goals and outcomes. There's nothing but an outcome-based education. I understand that you're already implementing these OBE principles, and a continuous and comprehensive evaluation should be carried out. Now the policy is also emphasizing on the internationalization. We want to have the more and more collaboration with the foreign universities, the best of foreign universities, so that to learn each other. to learn the best practice of that university. So to get benefited, students will get benefited. So that is where in the internationalization, you need some kind of a opportunities for the students to move from one nation to another nation. Like most of the European universities are offering such programs, fellowships. They call it a mobility, student mobility opportunities. So they can go there, study for, include those credits earned there into the award of the degree. That's what NIT Warangal is doing. We're offering, we're accepting these credits for the award of the degree of program. So we need to have that kind of a flexibility. Of course, they are talking about the teacher in education. That means all the education institutions were expected to start a BEd program, a 4 years BEd program. All the technical institutions, standalone technical education institutions. As I said, that vocational education should be given a emphasis on that. So that's where we said that at least 50% of learners through the school and higher education system shall have an exposure to the vocational education. So all ITIs, polytechnics will be assigned or attached to the education institutions. Skill labs are expected to be established. Tinkering labs, Atal Tinker labs, etc. They will be established so that the student will be able to learn on his own. Skill sets will be developed. So they will become more and more employable. So as I said that earlier, National Research Foundation, they are supposed to establish and provide the fund for the research proposals submitted by the various teachers across the nation. Okay. And inclusion of research and internships in the undergraduate curriculum, this is what we are saying. Encourage the undergraduate students to involve in the research. We should always encourage the undergraduate students to go for internship with some industry. So in case of the regulatory body, they want to replace all of them with one body known as the Higher Education Commission of India. Higher Education Commission of India. So it has 4 wings: National Higher Education Regulatory Council, National Accreditation Council, National Education Grants Council for the funding, General Education Council. This is for the day-to-day affairs, rules and regulations, and so on. So let's also quickly go through the other principles, recommendations. One is that professionals require a critical and interdisciplinary thinking, and hence they should have some kind of a courses like will help the original evolve into institutions and clusters. Or in other words, these professional education institutions like architecture, technical, medicine, agriculture, so they should be integrated with the university system. Other one, so the multidisciplinary thinking will be developed. So collaboration between the industry and higher education institutions is a must. That's what they want to make mandatory. Technology use, so this is where I said that is a bidirectional. The technology has to be, new technologies have to be developed by the faculty members through the research, intensive research. And the same technology has been effectively utilized in the knowledge dissemination, in the teaching learning process, to make the teaching learning process more and more effective, like a modules, LMS platforms. And also probably you can upload, right? You can upload the questions, you can upload the assignments to the students using the technology. You can upload the course material, right? Autonomous body like a National Education Technology Forum, which will try to bring out the technology which will enhance the learning process. And then the thrust of technological level process. And also they're expected to carry out research on the disruptive technologies, like blockchains, etc. They call the disruptive technologies. And universities are able to offer a PhD and master's programs in core areas like this disruption technologies, AI and virtual. So there are several attempts are being made at a national level to enhance the applicability of the online digital education. So what is to be done? To implement the NEP. One is there should be a central advisory board of education. A liberal funding should be given, allocated to the budget for the education sector. While implementation, education is in a state subject. Central government cannot impose. This is where you have to collaborate, discuss, and then try to implement the policies. And also have different states, different local needs. You have, right? Different local needs are there, different cultures are there. So obviously, perceptions are different. So you have to go cautiously, taking them into confidence in a phased manner. You should be able to implement. There is no given enough time for the these institutions. I think each institution should do some kind of internal homework involving all the stakeholders, all the teachers, to prepare some kind of a document, right? We have done some work. It's not that great work. We have done some work internally, thinking about the check. Are you able to see this screen?
Yes.
This NIP 2020 NITW actionable points, right? Are you able to see? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So this kind of a activity, you can do it. We have done another aspect. This the document you need to prepare. You need to prepare. All these institutions were expected to prepare. Like what is the article? Quality universities, what are the guidelines, and then what are the actionable points? We have done this about 17-page document. And similarly, we have consolidated these actionable points because we said that we have a mandate to become a multidisciplinary research intensive universities by 2030. So we have identified several actionable points. So how many of them are short-term and long-term plans? The first 3 years we've got a short-term, and the next 7 years is the long-term plans. So this kind of an exercise we need to do it. It is not the top-down approach. It is the institutions are expected to develop this kind of a document involving all the stakeholders. So that's all from me. Thank you. Thank you very much for your kind attention. And also I thank the institution for giving an opportunity to interact with each and every one of you. If time permits, we'll take few questions if somebody requires some clarification.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot for your extended discussion on NEP 2020 policies. And it is a very educative session and very informative session. And we have learned a lot of things from you, sir. And we hope in the future, the perception of education will be changed from quantitative to the qualitative. So let's hope for a greater tomorrow, for a good beginning today. Thank you for the session, sir. And I'd like to inform that we are also having following sessions in the preceding days. So tomorrow, that is 8th March, on the eve of International Women's Day, we are having a session called Women Educators in Sustainable Future, followed by March 9th is Pedagogical Approaches and Student Engagement Strategies, March 10th, Teaching Learning Evaluation Strategies, March 11th, Academic Bank of Credits, and March 12th will be the valedictory session, sir. The soon report will be generated and sent to you. And thank you for today's session, sir. And over to Principal, sir. Sir, Principal, sir.
Hello, Ramanrao garu. Thank you very much, Prasad garu, for your valuable information. I am very much delighted to know very good important issues which are related to that of what happens to faculty and the colleges and schools and intermediate colleges also. It is a very different strategy after a long time, almost after 1992. This change has brought in, and I think all the faculty members are aware, have noted the content, and on behalf of all the faculty as well as the other members, I thank Prasad garu for this wonderful presentation. Ajay, back to Ajay.
Sir, just a second. Sir is on speaking to faculty. I'll just tell him to join the meeting. Sir is speaking to faculty, sir, to close the session. So thank you, sir. Thank you everyone for joining this session today.
Thank you.
Sir, Sudeshan, sir, you can close the session.
Yeah, thank you. I am leaving. Thank you,
Yeah.
one and all.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, Ajay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, all of you.
Sudarshan, close then.
Okay, sir. Thank
Okay.
you, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.